Matt Santagapita, Santa Knows Best, and this is my take on what you should do as a homeowner who had your home sold and your buyer hasn't closed. Why we're talking about this is in the past 2 weeks, this scenario has come up a handful of times, not just for us, but we've noticed in the MLS, a lot of homes, in particularly people from Toronto not closing on homes, which is kind of an odd one, but we know that the Toronto market's pulling back, so I guess it's not a shock. So my advice, what should you do as a homeowner if the buyer doesn't close? Kind of simple, get over it. It just is what it is. Don't sit in what I call the toilet bowl effect of just thinking, poor me. You need to move on. You need to get that home back on the market ASAP. Now, you do have, you can seek compensation, but worry about that later. You need to get it sold again. So the important thing is to move on as fast as you can. I mean, that day you get that, if you get that call and they're saying like, we can't close, we don't have money, or we're not closing, we don't want to, whatever the answer is, boom, the next thing is great. Let's get the listing docs, let's get it back on the market, let's get people through the home, and let's get it sold again. Now, once you've gone through that stage, then we talk about what kind of compensation you get. Now, on, let's say, come close date, your buyer doesn't close on the home, well, there's no mutual release typically, and the deposit on the home isn't given back. It's kind of just held there and locked up until you figure out what compensation you can go after. So let's just say you list your home and you have to sell it for less money, and let's say that shortfall or that difference is $10,000. Well, you are then able to go after the previous purchaser or buyer for that $10,000 plus any additional costs you incurred. So if you had to get bridge financing for that second home that you were buying, you can actually look at, okay, that cost was 10 grand to carry that for 3 months. So you can ask for that. You can ask for if there was additional storage, moving, early termination fees, additional utilities, anything like that. So the other thing is you want to keep track of what the costs are associated with having to sell your home a second time. So, but the important thing here is just get over it. And it sounds very weird to say, but a lot of people, they just focus on what to do, and there's no, I mean, if they're not closing, they're not closing. You're not going to all of a sudden, convince them to just close, or convince their lender to allow them to close, or whatever the scenario is. You just need to get over it, but understand your rights. So your lawyer then would coach you on that. That's not really something that, as a realtor, we get involved in that process. That's legals. That's lawyers deal with that stuff. So again, Matt Santagapita, Santa Knows Best, and this has been my take on what do you do if your buyer doesn't close on your home.